phone rang at 6:47 a.m, jolting me awake from the first decent sleep I'd had in weeks. I knew before I even looked at the screen that it was Nadine. "Alexis, thank God you're up early. I have the most amazing news. My name is Alexis, and I've been my mother's full-time caregiver for 7 years. 7 years of pill schedules, doctor appointments, and watching my siblings live their perfect lives while I'm stuck in this house that smells like antiseptic and regret. What's up, Nadine?" I rubbed my eyes, already dreading whatever enthusiasm was about to hit me at dawn. "We're throwing Mom a surprise party for her 70th. Isn't that wonderful? Troy and I have been planning it for weeks." I sat up straighter. "We? Well, obviously it'll be at your place since you're already there with her. And you know the house better than anyone. Plus, you're so good at organising these things." I walked to the kitchen, phone pressed to my ear, and started Mom's morning medications. 7 pills 3 times a day. I could do it in my sleep. "When were you thinking?" "Next Saturday. I know it's short notice, but Troy can only fly in that weekend. His schedule is just insane with the new product launch." "Next Saturday." I repeated it slowly, letting the timeline sink in. "That's 8 days away." I know. But you're amazing at pulling things together. Remember how beautiful you made Dad's memorial service? Everyone still talks about it." Right, the memorial service I planned alone while they both dealt with grief in their own ways. Nadine went to a spa. Troy extended his business trip to Japan. How many people are we talking about? Oh, not too many. Maybe 40, 50. I made a list of everyone from church, the old neighbourhood, some of her bridge friends. Troy's bringing his girlfriend, and obviously my family will be there. 50 people in my house with 8 days' notice. Nadine, And don't worry about the cost. Troy and I will split everything. Well, mostly Troy since he makes all that tech money. You just need to handle the actual party part. The actual party part. Right. Mum shuffled into the kitchen in her faded pink robe, looking confused. "Who's calling so early?" I covered the phone. "Nadine, go sit down. I'll bring your pills." "Is everything okay?" Mum's voice carried that edge of panic she got when routines shifted. "Everything's fine, Mum." "Alexis, you still there?" Nadine's voice crackled through the speaker. "Yeah, I'm here." "So you'll do it? I knew you would. You're such a lifesaver. Literally, I don't know what we'd do without you." I handed Mom her pills and watched her struggle with the child-proof cap. 7 years of this, 7 years of being the responsible one while Nadine posted Instagram photos of her family vacations and Troy sent Christmas cards from whatever city he was conquering that month. I need to think about this. Think about what? It's Mum's 70th birthday, Alexis. It's not like you have real responsibilities that weekend. The words hit me like a slap. Not real responsibilities. Taking care of our mother wasn't real responsibility. "I have to go. Mum needs breakfast." "Okay, but we need to move fast on this. I'll text you the guest list and some ideas I found on Pinterest. You're going to do such an amazing job." She hung up before I could respond. Mum looked up at me with those watery blue eyes that used to be so sharp. "What did Nadine want?" "She wants to throw you a surprise party." "How lovely. I haven't had a party in years. Will you help her?" I stared at my mother, this woman I'd given up everything for, who had no idea what I'd sacrificed. My career in marketing, my engagement to Fiona, my entire adult life. "Of course, Mum, I'll help." She smiled and patted my hand. "You're such a good daughter, Alexis. I don't know what I'd do without you." I cleaned up her breakfast dishes and helped her to the living room for her morning shows. Then I sat at my laptop, staring at the blank screen. My fingers hovered over the keyboard for a long moment before I typed "flights to Belize." The search results loaded, showing beautiful beaches and crystal clear water. 7 days in paradise for less than what Nadine probably spent on her last manicure. I closed the laptop and went to check on Mom, but the images stayed with me. White sand, blue water, freedom. My phone buzzed constantly over the next 3 days. Nadine had apparently appointed herself party coordinator from her suburban throne, sending me endless texts about decorations, catering options, and seating arrangements. Found the perfect tablecloths on Amazon. Ordering 6. You can return what we don't use. Do you think we need a DJ or maybe just a playlist? You're good with technology stuff. BTW, can you call the church ladies? I don't have all their numbers. Each message felt like another brick added to the wall, crushing my chest. I was helping Mom with her physical therapy exercises when my phone rang. Chloe's name flashed on the screen. I need to take this, Mom. Keep doing those arm circles. Alexis, I haven't heard from you in forever. How are you holding up? Chloe and I had been best friends in high school, but life pulled us in different directions. She'd moved to Portland, started a non-profit, travelled the world. We'd reconnected on Facebook a few months ago. I watched Mum struggle to lift her arms above her head. I'm planning a surprise party for my mother. That sounds fun. When is it? Saturday. Nadine decided this on Monday. Wait, what? That's like 5 days away. Tell me about it. Please tell me your siblings are helping. I laughed, but it came out bitter. Troy's flying in Friday night. Nadine's bringing potato salad. Potato salad! Store-bought, probably. Alexis, that's insane. What about decorations, food, setup? All me, apparently, because I don't have real responsibilities. Silence on the other end. Then, she actually said that? Word for word. Jesus, what did you say back? Nothing. I never say anything back. Mom called from the living room. Alexis, I'm tired. Can I stop now? 5 more minutes, Mom. I turned back to the phone. Sorry, Chloe. Don't apologise, but seriously, why are you doing this to yourself? She's my mother. She's their mother too. I didn't have an answer for that. Look, I have to ask, when's the last time you did something for yourself, something that wasn't about taking care of someone else? I tried to remember. Really tried. I bought new pyjamas last month. That doesn't count. I mean, something fun. A date, a weekend away. Hell, even a movie. I can't just leave, Chloe. Mom needs... What did you want to be when you were 25? The question caught me off guard. What? Before all this? What was your plan? I closed my eyes. I wanted to run marketing for a travel company. Maybe live in Seattle with Fiona. We talked about getting a dog. And now I know the exact sound Mom's breathing makes when she's about to have a panic attack. Alexis, I have to go. Mom's calling. Wait, can I say something? You don't owe them your life. You know that, right? I hung up before I could answer. That evening I sat with Mom during her dinner. She picked at her meatloaf, the same meal she'd requested 3 times this week. Nadine called today, she said suddenly. Oh? She's so excited about this party. She said you're handling everything beautifully. Did she mention helping at all? Mom looked confused. Helping with what? The party, the cooking, decorating, cleaning. Oh, honey, you know Nadine's so busy with her children, and Troy lives so far away. Besides, you're so much better at these things than they are. I set down my fork. Better at what things? Taking care of people. Making things nice. You have such a gift for it. What if I don't want to have a gift for it? Mom reached across and patted my hand. Don't be silly. It's who you are. Later that night, after Mom was asleep, I opened my laptop again. The Belize flights were still in my browser history. I clicked through to hotels, reading reviews of beachfront resorts and infinity pools. My phone buzzed. Another text from Nadine. Forgot to mention, can you make sure the house is really clean? Troy's girlfriend is kind of picky about that stuff. Thanks. You're the best. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I opened a new browser tab and typed in my credit card information. The confirmation email arrived 30 seconds later. Flight to Belize City, departing Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Return the following Saturday. I screenshot the boarding pass and saved it to a folder labelled Vacation Photos. Then I walked to the kitchen and wrote a note on a yellow post-it. She's all yours. Have a wonderful party. See you in a week. A. My hands were shaking as I stuck it to the refrigerator right next to Mom's medication schedule. The next morning, I peeled the post-it note off the refrigerator and tucked it into my wallet. 3 days to go. I called Sunshine Home Care while Mom watched her morning shows. Hi, this is Alexis. I need temporary care for my mother starting this Saturday. How long will you need coverage? 1 week. That's very short notice. Let me see what we have available. I held my breath. We have Margaret available. She's excellent with seniors. It'll be $200 a day. Perfect. I'll take it. Will family members be present to help with the transition? I almost laughed. Yes, my siblings will be there. After I hung up, I started my secret preparations. I pulled my old suitcase from the closet and hid it under my bed. Every time I did laundry, I set aside vacation clothes. Sundresses I hadn't worn in years, sandals buried in the back of my closet. My phone buzzed constantly with Nadine's updates. Ordered flowers. They'll deliver Saturday morning. Make sure someone's there to receive them. Troy says he can't get there until 6 p.m. Friday. Can you handle setup alone? Do we have enough chairs? I don't want people standing. I responded to each message with simple okay or got it replies. No enthusiasm, no questions, just acknowledgement. Wednesday afternoon, Mom napped while I researched Belize, snorkeling tours, Mayan ruins, beach bars with names like Crazy Canuck and Palapa Bar. I bookmarked everything. What are you looking at, honey? I spun around. Mom stood in the doorway, looking more alert than she had in weeks. Just party planning stuff. She shuffled over and peered at my screen. A photo of a turquoise water filled the monitor. That's beautiful. Where is that? Belize. I always wanted to travel more. She sat down heavily in the chair next to me. Your father and I talked about it, after you kids were grown. Why didn't you? Life got in the way. There was always something. Work, responsibilities, then Dad got sick. She trailed off. Do you ever think about travelling? I closed the laptop. Sometimes. You should, while you're young. I'm not that young anymore, Mom. 38 is nothing. I was 38 when I had Troy. She looked at me with sudden clarity. You've given up so much for me. My throat tightened. Mom, I know what I've cost you. The job, that nice girl Fiona. You didn't cost me anything. Don't lie to an old woman. She patted my knee. I see how tired you are. How sad. I couldn't speak. Maybe after the party you should take a little trip. I'd be fine for a few days. I nodded, not trusting my voice. Thursday morning brought a flurry of activity. The rental company delivered tables and chairs. I spent 2 hours arranging them in the backyard, then rearranging them when Nadine called with better ideas. Move the gift table closer to the door. People need to see it when they walk in. The gift table. For presents, obviously people will bring gifts. You didn't mention gifts. It's a birthday party, Alexis. You use your brain. I hung up and moved the table. That evening I packed my suitcase properly. Swimsuits, shorts, that yellow dress I'd bought for a wedding 2 years ago but never wore. I tucked my passport into the side pocket and zipped everything up. Friday arrived with chaos. The florist called. They couldn't deliver until noon. The caterer needed someone to sign for the food delivery. Nadine texted that she'd be running late because of Cade's soccer game. I handled everything, signed for deliveries, arranged flowers, set up the buffet table. By 4 p.m. the house looked perfect, magazine perfect. Troy arrived at 6:30 with his girlfriend Jessica. She was exactly what I'd expected. Blonde, polished, the kind of woman who said adorable about everything. Alexis, you've outdone yourself. This place looks adorable. Troy hugged me. Seriously, sis, this is incredible. You're amazing. Thanks. Where's Nadine? Still at soccer. He frowned. She said she'd be here by 6. She's running late. Jessica wandered around taking photos. This is so Instagram-worthy. Troy, get a picture of me by the flowers. At 8 p.m, Nadine finally arrived with her family. She surveyed the setup with the critical eye of someone who'd done none of the work. The cake table should be more centered. It's fine where it is. And did you remember to chill the wine? Yes, Nadine. Good. Oh, and tomorrow morning, can you be here early? I want to do a final walkthrough before guests arrive. I looked at her standing in my perfectly decorated house, critiquing my work, planning to show up at the last minute to take credit. Actually, I have an early appointment tomorrow. What kind of appointment? Personal. She looked annoyed but didn't push. At 10 p.m, after everyone left, I set my alarm for 6 a.m. My boarding pass was printed and tucked into my purse. My suitcase sat by the door. I walked to Mum's room and watched her sleep for a moment. Then I went to the kitchen and stuck the post-it note to the front door. In 12 hours, I'd be on a plane to paradise. I woke up at 5:30 a.m. without the alarm. My suitcase waited by the door like a loyal dog. Margaret from Sunshine Home Care arrived at 6:45, exactly on time. She was a sturdy woman in her 50s with kind eyes and sensible shoes. You must be Alexis. I'm Margaret. Thank you for coming on such short notice. No problem, honey. Where's the patient? Still sleeping. She usually gets up around 7:30. I handed her the typed care instructions I'd prepared. Everything's in here. Medications, meal preferences, emergency contacts. Your siblings will be here for the party. Yes, they should arrive around 10. Margaret nodded, scanning the instructions. This is very thorough. You've done this before. 7 years of practice. I grabbed my purse and suitcase. I'll be back next Saturday. Have a wonderful trip, dear. You look like you need it. The Uber driver was chatty, asking about my vacation plans while I watched my neighbourhood disappear through the window. I gave short answers, my heart hammering against my ribs. At the airport, I checked in and made it through security without incident. Gate B12. Boarding at 7:30. I bought coffee and a breakfast sandwich, then found a seat facing the windows. The plane sat on the tarmac, waiting to take me away from everything. My phone buzzed. A text from Troy. Heading over to the house now. Thanks again for everything, sis. I turned off my phone and dropped it in my purse. Boarding began at 7:25. I was in Group C, middle of the pack. As I handed my boarding pass to the gate agent, my phone buzzed again from inside my purse. I ignored it. The plane was half empty. I had a window seat and nobody sat next to me. Perfect. We took off at 8:15. I watched the city shrink below me, then disappear entirely as we climbed into the clouds. 3 hours later, I was sipping a piña colada at the Belize City Airport bar, waiting for my connection to San Pedro. The bartender, a local man named Carlos, asked where I was from. Chicago. Business or pleasure? Definitely pleasure. My phone had 17 missed calls and 43 text messages. I scrolled through them while Carlos made another drink. Troy, 10:15 a.m. Where are you? Margaret says you left for an appointment. Troy, 10:22 a.m. Alexis, call me. Guests start arriving in an hour. Nadine, 10:30 a.m. Where the hell are you? Troy, 10:35 a.m. Found your note. Please tell me this is a joke. Nadine, 10:40 a.m. This is not funny. Get home now. The messages got increasingly frantic. I could picture the scene perfectly. Troy standing in my kitchen holding the yellow post-it note, while Nadine paced around shrieking about ruined plans. My connection to San Pedro was delayed, so I ordered lunch and kept reading. Troy, 11:15 a.m. Okay, we're handling this, but we need to talk when you get back. Nadine, 11:20 a.m. I can't believe you would do this to Mom, to us. Troy, 11:45 a.m. Guests are arriving. We're telling them you're sick. Nadine, 12:10 p.m. The caterer is asking questions we can't answer. What did you order for vegetarians? Troy, 12:30 p.m. Mum keeps asking where you are. This is really hard on her. I almost felt bad about that one. Almost. Nadine, 1:15 p.m. Aunt Bailey asked why the birthday girl is crying. Thanks a lot. Troy, 1:45 p.m. Can you at least tell us where you are? We're worried. The last message was from an unknown number. Aunt Alexis, this is Cade. Mum is losing her mind. Dad took the kids to McDonald's. Grandma is asking everyone where you went. I think this is hilarious. Have fun wherever you are. I smiled at that one. Cade was Nadine's 14-year-old son, and he'd always been my favourite. Smart kid. My flight to San Pedro finally boarded at 3 p.m. It was a tiny plane, maybe 20 seats, flying over the most beautiful water I'd ever seen. Turquoise and crystal clear, with small islands scattered like emeralds. I landed at 4 p.m. local time and took a taxi to my resort. The Coral Beach Hotel was exactly what I'd hoped for. White sand, palm trees, and a bar that opened directly onto the beach. I checked in, changed into my swimsuit, and walked straight to the water. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and pink. I waded in up to my knees, feeling the warm Caribbean water lap against my legs. My phone buzzed again. A text from Chloe. Saw Nadine's Facebook post about family emergencies. Please tell me you're somewhere tropical. I took a selfie, me in the water, sunset behind me, the biggest smile I'd worn in years. I sent it to Chloe with the caption, Belize says hello. Her response came immediately. Yes, Queen, I'm so proud of you. I turned my phone to airplane mode and walked deeper into the water. Behind me, the hotel bar was starting to fill with other tourists. Laughter carried on the breeze. Someone was playing guitar. For the first time in 7 years, nobody needed me to be anywhere else. Sunday morning, I woke up in paradise. No alarm clock, no medication schedule, no one calling my name from the next room. I ordered room service, fresh fruit, coffee, and something called coconut French toast, and ate it on my balcony overlooking the ocean. When I finally turned my phone back on, the notifications exploded across my screen. 57 missed calls, 89 text messages, 12 voicemails. I scrolled through Facebook first. Nadine had posted a family photo from the party with the caption, Despite some unexpected challenges, we celebrated Mom's 70th with love and family. Adonai, blessed and our family are stronger together. The comments were brutal. Aunt Bailey, where was Alexis? She's been taking care of your mother for years. Cousin Rita, wasn't this supposed to be at Alexis's house? What happened? Mom's friend Dorothy, poor Prudence looked so confused. I hope everything's okay. Nadine had responded to none of them. Troy had posted a single photo of him and Mom cutting the cake. His caption was simpler, Happy 70th, Mom, love you. I switched to my text messages. Most were from Nadine, escalating from angry to furious to what I could only describe as unhinged. Saturday, 6:30 p.m. The party was a disaster. I hope you're happy. Saturday, 8:15 p.m. Mum cried herself to sleep, asking where you were. Saturday, 10:45 p.m. You are the most selfish person I've ever known. Sunday, 7:20 a.m. I'm done with you. Don't bother coming to family events anymore. Troy's messages were different. Calmer, but somehow worse. Saturday, 9:30 p.m. I get why you're angry. I should have helped more. Sunday, 6:45 a.m. Can we talk when you get back? I think I understand now. Sunday, 8:15 a.m. I'm staying through Tuesday to help with Mom. We need to figure this out. I was reading through the voicemails when someone sat down at the table next to me. Rough morning? I looked up. A woman about my age with short dark hair and a kind smile. She was drinking coffee and reading a paperback. Family drama, I said. Ah, the kind that follows you on vacation. Something like that. She extended her hand. I'm Sawyer, and you look like you could use a friend. Alexis, and you're probably right. Want to talk about it? I'm a good listener and I promise not to judge. I found myself telling her everything. The 7 years of caregiving, the party planning, the note on the door. She listened without interrupting, occasionally nodding or making sympathetic sounds. So you just left? She asked when I finished. I just left. Good for you. Really? Hell yes. They took you for granted for 7 years, then dumped a party on you with a week's notice. You're a saint for lasting this long. My sister thinks I'm selfish. Your sister sounds like a piece of work. We spent the morning talking. Sawyer was a teacher from Denver, recently divorced, taking her first solo vacation in 15 years. I spent my whole marriage being the responsible one, she said. Paying bills, planning everything, managing his moods. Sound familiar? Very. You know what I learned? Being responsible doesn't make you indispensable. It just makes you convenient. That afternoon I got a snorkeling lesson from a local guide named Miguel. The underwater world was incredible. Colourful fish, coral formations, rays gliding through the water like underwater birds. When I surfaced, gasping and laughing, Miguel grinned at me. First time doing anything in years. You're a natural, very calm underwater. I'm calm everywhere right now. That evening, Sawyer and I had dinner at the hotel restaurant. The fish was fresh, the wine was cold, and for the first time in forever, I wasn't checking my phone every 5 minutes. So, what happens when you go back? She asked. I don't know. I can't keep living like I was. Then don't. It's not that simple. Why not? I didn't have a good answer. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Alexis, this is Fiona. I saw your siblings freaking out on social media. I'm proud of you, Lex. You deserve to live your own life. I stared at the message. Fiona, my ex-fiancée, the woman I'd walked away from to take care of Mom. Good news or bad news? Sawyer asked. I'm not sure yet, I typed back. Thank you, that means a lot. Her response came quickly. If you ever want to live for yourself again, I'm still in Seattle, still single, still think about what we could have had. I showed Sawyer the message. Damn, she said, plot twist. She's probably just being nice. Or she's been waiting 7 years for you to remember you're a person, not just a caregiver. I put my phone away and ordered another glass of wine. To living for ourselves, Sawyer said, raising her glass. To living for ourselves. We clinked glasses as the sun set over the Caribbean, painting the sky in shades of freedom. Tuesday morning I walked alone on the beach at sunrise. The sand was cool under my feet, and the only sounds were waves and seabirds calling to each other. My phone had been quiet since yesterday. Either my family had given up trying to reach me, or they were plotting something bigger. I wasn't sure which scared me more. I found a piece of driftwood and sat down, watching the sun climb higher. A memory hit me suddenly, Fiona and I on a beach in Oregon, 3 years into our relationship. She'd been talking about wedding venues and I'd been distracted by a call from Mum's doctor. You're not really here, Fiona had said. What do you mean? Your body's here, but your mind is always somewhere else, with her. I'd gotten defensive. She's my mother, Fee. She needs me. I need you too. But I'd already started walking back to the car, phone pressed to my ear, listening to test results that turned out to be nothing serious. Now, sitting on this beach in Belize, I could see it clearly. I'd chosen obligation over love, duty over happiness, and I'd convinced myself it was noble. My phone buzzed. A text from Fiona. I keep thinking about that weekend we went to Door County. You laughed so hard at that terrible magic show that you snorted wine. I haven't heard you laugh like that in any of your social media posts. I remembered that weekend. We'd stayed at a bed and breakfast, eaten too much cheese, and made love with the windows open. I'd felt so light, so free. I typed back, "I haven't laughed like that in 7 years. That's what I was afraid of. What happened to the woman who used to dance in the kitchen while making pancakes?" "She got buried under pill schedules and doctor appointments." "Is she still in there somewhere?" I looked out at the endless blue water. Yesterday, I'd laughed until my sides hurt when Miguel told stories about tourist mishaps. Last night, Sawyer and I had danced badly to reggae music at the beach bar. I think she might be. Good. She was my favourite person. I walked back to the hotel and found Sawyer at the pool bar nursing a coffee that was probably half Bailey's. "You look thoughtful," she said. "Fiona keeps texting." "The ex-fiancé? Yeah, she's reminding me of who I used to be." "Who were you?" "Fun, spontaneous. I used to plan surprise weekend trips. I made elaborate birthday dinners just because it was Tuesday. I sang in the shower." "When did you stop?" "When Mum got diagnosed. Gradually at first, then all at once." Sawyer nodded. "I stopped singing when my ex-husband told me I was too loud in the mornings. Took me 2 years after the divorce to realise I could sing whenever I wanted." "Do you sing now?" "Every damn day." That afternoon, I got a massage at the hotel spa. The therapist, a woman named Carmen, worked out knots in my shoulders that felt like they'd been there for years. "You carry much stress here," she said, pressing into a particularly tight spot. 7 years worth. "What happens in 7 years?" "I forgot how to live for myself. And now I'm remembering." When I got back to my room, I had 3 missed calls from Troy. I called him back. "Alexis, thank God, are you okay?" "I'm fine, Troy." "Where are you?" "Does it matter?" "Of course it matters. We've been worried sick." "Have you? Or have you been worried about who's going to take care of Mom?" Silence. "That's not fair," he said finally. "Isn't it? When's the last time you called just to see how I was doing? Not to ask about Mom's condition or her medication schedule, just to check on me." More silence. "I can't remember," he admitted. "Neither can I." "I'm sorry, Lex. I really am. I didn't realise how much we'd been taking advantage." "Taking advantage? Troy, I gave up my entire life. My career, my relationship, my friends, everything. And you guys treated me like hired help." "I know. I see that now." "Do you? Because Nadine's Facebook post made it sound like I was the problem." Nadine's having a hard time with this. She's not good at admitting when she's wrong." "And you? I'm trying to do better. I've been here since Sunday helping with Mum. It's harder than I thought. It's been harder than you thought for 7 years. I know. I'm sorry." I could hear the genuine regret in his voice, but it felt too little, too late. "I have to go, Troy. When are you coming back?" "Saturday." "And then what?" "I don't know yet." After I hung up, I sat on my balcony and opened my laptop. I pulled up Fiona's Facebook page and scrolled through her photos. Her life in Seattle looked good. Hiking trips, dinner parties with friends, a cozy apartment with plants everywhere. I clicked on her message thread and typed, "Tell me about your life now. The real version, not the social media version." Her response came quickly. "Lonely sometimes, fulfilling mostly. I have a garden now. I'm learning pottery. I adopted a dog named Buster who snores louder than you used to." I didn't snore. "You absolutely did. It was adorable." I smiled, really smiled, for the first time since reading Troy's messages. "I miss being adorable." "You still are. You just forgot." Saturday morning came too soon. I packed my suitcase slowly, trying to hold onto every moment of freedom before reality crashed back in. Sawyer met me at the hotel lobby for goodbye coffee. "You look different than when you arrived," she said. "Different how?" "Taller, like you remembered you have a spine." "I'm going to need it. You've got my number. Use it if you need a reminder of who you are." The flight home felt like travelling backward through time. With each mile, I could feel the weight settling back on my shoulders. Troy picked me up at the airport. He looked tired, older somehow. "How was your trip?" he asked as we drove through familiar streets. "Perfect." "Good, you deserved it." "Did I? Nadine seems to think I'm the devil incarnate." "Nadine's processing. She'll come around." "Will she?" He didn't answer. The house looked the same from the outside, but something felt different when we walked in. Troy had clearly been trying. The kitchen was clean, Mom's medications were organised, fresh flowers sat on the dining room table. "Where's Mom?" "Napping. She's been asking about you all week." I found her in her bedroom, looking smaller than I remembered. She opened her eyes when I sat on the edge of her bed. "Alexis, you're back." "I'm back, Mom." "Where did you go? Troy said you were sick, but you look so healthy." "I went to Belize." "Belize? How wonderful! Was it beautiful?" "Very beautiful." She studied my face. "You look rested. Happy?" "I am." "Good. You needed that." She patted my hand. "I'm sorry about the party. I know it was supposed to be a surprise, but everything went wrong." "It wasn't your fault, Mom." "Wasn't it? I've been thinking all week about how much I've asked of you, how much you've given up." I squeezed her hand. "Mom, let me finish. I've been selfish. I let you sacrifice your life because it was easier than dealing with my problems myself. You're sick. You need help. I need help. I don't need a full-time prisoner." The word hit me like a slap. "Is that what I am?" "Isn't it what you've become?" That evening, Troy and I sat on the back porch, where the party should have happened. The rental tables were gone, but I could still see the indentations in the grass where they'd been. "Margaret said you were very thorough with Mom's care instructions," he said. 7 years of practice. She also said you looked like you hadn't slept in months." I probably hadn't. "I'm staying through Tuesday to help transition things." "Transition to what?" "I don't know yet, but this can't continue the way it was. Finally figured that out. Don't be angry at me for trying to help now." "I'm not angry at you for helping now. I'm angry at you for not helping before." He nodded. "Fair enough." My phone rang. Aunt Bailey's name flashed on the screen. "Hi, Aunt Bailey." "Alexis, thank goodness you're back. I've been so worried." "I'm fine." "Good. I wanted you to know. I saw right through that party disaster. Everyone did." "What do you mean?" "Honey, we've all watched you sacrifice everything for your mother while your siblings lived their lives. When you didn't show up to that party, people started talking." "Talking about what?" "About how unfair it's been. About how Nadine and Troy have been taking advantage of your good heart." "I don't want people talking about family business." "Sometimes family business needs to be talked about. Dorothy from your mum's bridge club called me yesterday. She said it was about time someone stood up to those two." After I hung up, Troy looked at me curiously. "Aunt Bailey?" Apparently my disappearing act caused quite a stir. Good. Good. Maybe it's time people knew the truth. Later that night, I sat in my bedroom and opened the family group chat for the first time since leaving. Nadine had been busy. "I can't believe Alexis would abandon Mom like that. So selfish." The party was ruined. People were asking questions we couldn't answer. "I'm done covering for her irresponsible behaviour." Troy had barely responded. Just a few, "let's talk about this later" messages. I scrolled to the bottom and started typing. "I'm back. We need to talk, all of us, tomorrow at 2 p.m. Nadine's response came immediately. "Now you want to talk? After humiliating us?" "Yes, now I want to talk." "I have nothing to say to you." "Then listen." I put my phone away and walked to the kitchen. The yellow post-it note was gone, but I could still see the outline where it had been stuck to the door. I opened my laptop and started typing an email to Fiona. "I'm home. You were right. I did forget who I was, but I'm remembering, slowly. Would you like to video chat tomorrow? I'd like to see your face when I tell you about my week in paradise. Her response came within minutes. I'd love that. I want to hear everything. And Lex, I'm proud of you for taking that trip. It's the most you thing you've done in years. I closed the laptop and looked around the kitchen at the medication organizer, the meal schedule on the refrigerator, the emergency contact list by the phone. Tomorrow, things were going to change. I just wasn't sure how yet. Sunday at 2 p.m, we gathered in Mom's living room. Nadine arrived exactly on time, her jaw set like she was preparing for battle. Troy sat on the couch next to Mom, who looked nervous but alert. Okay, Nadine said, not even sitting down. Let's get this over with. You want to yell at us? Fine, yell. I don't want to yell. Then what? You want an apology? For what? For trusting you to handle one simple party? Nadine, Troy's voice was warning. No, Troy, I'm done tiptoeing around this. She embarrassed our entire family. Mom's friends are still calling, asking what happened. I looked at Mom, who was wringing her hands in her lap. Mom, do you want me to keep living here, taking care of you full time? Alexis, honey, it's a simple question. Do you want me to keep sacrificing my life for yours? Mom's eyes filled with tears. I never wanted you to sacrifice anything, but you let me. I was scared. After your father died, I was so scared of being alone. And now I'm more scared of what I've done to you. Nadine threw her hands up. This is ridiculous. You're making Mom feel guilty for being sick. I'm making Mom face reality, just like I had to. What reality? I stood up and walked to the mantel, where family photos showed years of holidays and birthdays. In every recent photo, I looked exhausted. The reality that I haven't had a life in 7 years. The reality that you both moved on while I stayed frozen in place. The reality that when you needed someone to plan a party, you didn't even consider that I might have other plans. What other plans? Nadine snapped. You don't work, you don't date, you don't do anything. Because I couldn't, because every time I tried to build something for myself, one of you would call with an emergency. Mum's dizzy, Mum fell, Mum's confused, and I'd drop everything and come running. Troy shifted uncomfortably. We didn't realise. You didn't want to realise. It was easier to let me handle everything. So what do you want? Nadine asked. You want us to grovel? Fine. Thank you, Alexis, for doing what family is supposed to do. Family is supposed to share the load, Nadine, not dump it all on one person. I have kids, I have a husband, I have responsibilities, and I don't. Not real ones. The words hung in the air like a slap. Mum gasped. Troy closed his eyes. There it is, I said quietly. That's what you really think. Nadine's face went red. I didn't mean... You meant exactly that. My life isn't real to you. My sacrifices don't count because I'm not married with kids. That's not what I said. It's exactly what you said, last week and just now. I walked to the coffee table and picked up a folder I'd prepared. I've hired a care coordinator. Her name is Susan. She'll assess Mom's needs and arrange appropriate help. Part-time nursing, meal delivery, transportation to appointments. You can't just... Nadine started. I can. I'm moving out next weekend. Moving where? Mom asked, her voice small. I found a 1-bedroom apartment 10 minutes away. I'll visit regularly. I'll help with emergencies. But I won't be a live-in caregiver anymore. You can't abandon her, Nadine said. I'm not abandoning anyone. I'm creating boundaries. What if something happens? Then you'll handle it, like adults. Troy finally spoke up. I think this is good, healthy. Nadine whirled on him. You think this is good? I think we've been taking advantage of Alexis for years. I think she deserves a life. And what about Mom? Mom will be fine. She's stronger than we give her credit for. Mom nodded slowly. I am stronger. I was just comfortable being weak. This is insane, Nadine said. "You're all insane." She grabbed her purse and headed for the door. "Nadine," I called after her. She stopped but didn't turn around. "I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm doing it to save myself." "Same thing," she said, and left. That evening I video called Fiona. She was in her kitchen making dinner, and I could see plants everywhere behind her. "You look different," she said, smiling at the screen. "I feel different. Tell me about Belize." I told her about the snorkeling, the beach walks, the way it felt to wake up without an alarm clock. She listened with the same attention she used to give my work stories, back when I had work stories. "And what happens now?" she asked. "I don't know. I'm moving out. I'm going to figure out who I am when I'm not just someone's caregiver." "I remember who you are." "Do you? You're the woman who once drove 4 hours to surprise me with concert tickets. You're the woman who made pancakes shaped like hearts just because it was Tuesday. You're the woman who laughed so hard at bad movies that you'd snort. I haven't snorted in years. We should fix that. Are you asking me to visit Seattle? I'm asking you to consider it. When you're ready, no pressure." I looked around my childhood bedroom at the medical supplies and pill organisers that had become my life. I might be ready sooner than you think. The next morning I deleted the old family group chat and created a new one. I added Troy and Mom, but not Nadine. Not yet. I named it New Boundaries and sent the first message. "Susan, the care coordinator, will be here Thursday to do Mom's assessment. Troy, can you be here for that? I'm apartment hunting." Troy responded immediately. "I'll be there. And Lex, I'm proud of you." Mom's response came a few minutes later. "I'm scared but excited for both of us." I put my phone away and opened my laptop. I had emails to send, a life to rebuild, and for the first time in 7 years, time to do it. Outside my window, it was a beautiful day.